Hi everyone! In today's video, I'm going to show you how I depot my MAC Studio Fix foundations into this palette. I'm going to be doing this today using the ZPotter, so you'll be able to see that in just a couple minutes. This is actually my second time recording this video. I recorded it a couple weeks ago, and when I went to edit it today, the sound was terrible. So I'm re-recording this. Unfortunately, I don't have my old palette handy to show you, but I will put up a picture. So the MAC Studio Fix foundation is a product for me that's been in my kit since I started doing makeup. It's one of my favorite products to use. I use it every day when I'm at work. I use it a lot for male grooming, for just quick coverage on the skin. I use it for bald heads. I will bronze with this product sometimes. I will contour. If I need quick coverage anywhere on the skin or I need to build up coverage on set, I'll probably use the Studio Fix. I use it for an eyeshadow primer. It's a very handy product for me to use when I am in a rush, which is pretty much on every job, or when I have to work very quickly. And I also use it for kids and teens. So there's many uses that I have for this product in my kit. I know a lot of you are probably going to ask me if it is okay to use this product if you are filming in HD. I think it's safe to assume at this point where we are with technology, everything that you're doing is going to be seen in high definition. I use this product in my kit. Any of the products that I talk to you about on social media, I use in my kit. So yes, I have used this product for jobs that are shot in high definition. That's not to say that you can't screw up with this. You have to be very light-handed with it. You can't overly apply a powder foundation. It can get very dry on the skin, which becomes very noticeable on camera. So you do have to be a little bit cautious about how you are using this product. But for me, I go in very lightly with it, and it's just a great multi-use product for me to have in my kit. Now, I don't have my original palette handy. I did have it for you when I recorded this video originally, but I'm going to put up a picture for you because thankfully I was smart enough to take a picture. So this is what my old Studio Fix powder foundation palette looked like. So firstly, the reason I'm replacing it is because I've had these products in my kit for more than 2 years. My powder products, I replace them every 2 to 2.5 years at most. So it's time for these to get replaced. This palette took a beating. I dropped it many times. It fell off my station. It's been knocked off my station. So it went through the ringer, and this is what it looked like right before I replaced everything. There are 3 shades in this palette that I use all the time. These are my most used shades. So that's NW15, C4, and NW35. Now for me, these are shades that I use often for whatever reason, just based on the tones of a lot of the clients that I have. This looks great on camera for the type of work I do. So what I would recommend you do is, if you are interested in adding this to your kit, to really think about what you need and think about the undertones that are going to work for the type of work that you do. What I did this time is actually go into the MAC store and I asked them what their most popular best-selling shades were, and that's what I chose for the other shades that are going to be used in this palette. The final shade selection that I ended up with, and I have a picture here so I can read it off, is NW15, C4, NC30, N5, NW35, NC42, NW58, and NW45. I'll include the full list for you in the description. I've been working with this palette as is for the last 2 weeks, and it's great. The shades are beautiful and they work for so many different things. So that's the collection of shades that's working for me right now. If I run out of something, I might just replenish with the same shade. I might try something else. I do something different every time with these shades, but I do make sure to have those 3 shades that I use a lot of. I will always have those in my kit. One other thing I should mention, the pan that I'm depotting the Studio Fix foundations into is discontinued. I'm sorry I'm talking about a product that is impossible to find, but these are the old Makeup Forever metal pans. I have a couple of these. I'm never getting rid of them, and I like to use them as often as I can. So you'll have to find something that is able to fit as many shades as you need in your kit. I wanted to show you also the original packaging. So this is the original packaging for the Studio Fix powder. It's a thicker compact. I have 8 shades of these in my kit. That's about all I need. They do take up quite a large amount of space. I am constantly trying to downsize and put everything in palettes that I can that's workable for me. So this is something that I wanted to do because I did not want to be sorting through different powders. If I am on set and I just need one powder handy for my set bag, what I will do is actually take out the individual shade that I need, or 2 shades, and I have a smaller Z palette that I use. I don't have the palette size here to show you, but I'll put links to the products in the description. I have a small, just square Z palette just for one shade, and then if I need 2 or 3, I'll just bring a smaller Z palette and put 2 or 3 shades in there. I just have these empty palettes with me in my set bag, so that's how I kind of work with it on set. Usually though, this palette just sits on my station like this or like this, and I'll put something else here like eyeshadows or whatever I'm working with, or another palette, and I'll work with it flat on my station. So that's what works for me. With this type of palette, when you do have this kind of space between the products, it does require a little bit of cleaning, so I try to clean this every couple of times that I work so there's not a lot of powder building up around the edge of the product. You will see me actually clean my old one in this video, and this little thing has been here in the corner. This is a sheet of neoprene, so you're gonna find out why you need to have this in here as well, and I'll talk about that right at the end of the video. Let's check out the time lapse now, and then once that's done, I'll have a few more tips for you about using the ZPotter and making sure everything goes smoothly for your depotting. Here's the final product. I'm very excited. I did not break anything. I actually ended up scratching 2 of them with my nail when I was trying to situate them in the palette, but other than that, it was pretty painless. Just a few things about the ZPotter. I have it here so I can kind of show you what I'm talking about. So the ZPotter can get extremely, extremely hot, so just be aware of that. You probably saw me kind of moving things around with the spatula because it does get very hot to the touch. So my setup, and I took a picture of it with my phone while this is happening, so maybe I'll put this up so you can get an idea. You need this plate to conduct the heat. So this goes on. I had my ZPotter set at 4 or 5, which is very hot. It was starting to overheat and went into error mode a couple times, which is fine. By the time it kind of overheated, these things were actually done. I waited about 1.5 to 2 minutes, let's say on a level 5 on the ZPotter, for these things to melt. When I put these on, to avoid kind of manhandling the Studio Fix foundations because they are very fragile and can crack very easily, I had the powder foundation in here and I placed the compact just like this on the edge of the ZPotter. Even though this part, this metal plate here is not on the circle, the hottest part of the ZPotter, this metal plate conducts heat. so I just moved this right to the edge, and that allowed me to heat up this portion of the palette. So right on there, leave that on for about 1.5 to 2 minutes. They were all pretty easy to get out. With some of them, the glue was a little bit more difficult than others, then I just put it back on. And I think in the video, I'm just trying to find what it looks like so I can show you. In the video too, you saw me kind of checking underneath. I don't even know if you're going to be able to see this, but when you are doing this, if you do want to try to do this with your own Studio Fix foundations, you can see the plastic kind of start to change shape and like pucker a little bit. And that for me was the sign that it was probably ready. I used an X-Acto knife to pop out the foundation. When you're doing this, if you have to apply any force whatsoever, it's not ready and you need to put it back on the ZPotter. You have to be so cautious with these foundations because they will crack very easily. So when you are kind of prying them out of the pan, feel it out, be patient, don't try to really force it. It should go in and lift up very easily. If you are using an X-Acto knife like me, go right down as far as you can go and pry up from there. That to me was the easiest. The other thing you can do, the plastic does get soft. So I think on one of them that was a little bit more difficult. I kind of pushed it up with my finger, and if you can feel the plastic kind of push up the pan, it makes it easier to get it out with a spatula or with a knife. So that's another thing that you can look out for. But again, like it does get very, 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 very hot. So please, please be very careful with this. I'm obviously used to burning my fingers, and my fingers can withstand a lot of heat from doing hairstyling as well. So it was okay for me, but the metal, this sheet on top of the ZPotter got super hot, and the ZPotter actually turns off when it gets too hot. So just be aware of that. Other thing that I do want to mention, so what I decided to do, instead of trying to write the name of the shade on the pan, I just wrote it on a little sticker and stuck it on the back. As I mentioned before, you do need the little magnet stickers to go on the back of the pan so they will magnetize to whatever palette you're using. So what I decided to do was, instead of trying to clean off the glue, which is so annoying, if anybody's tried to do this, you know how difficult it is, I just stuck the sticker right on top of the glue so it's really in there. It will cool down, and the magnetic sticker will stick on there really easily, and it'll be very secure now. So you can do that instead of trying to clean off the glue and then put the little magnetic round sticker on top. So you can try that and see if that works for you. But this was pretty seamless, just requires a little bit of patience. You got to try to not burn your hands off. You're going to melt a bit of plastic maybe. I think I only melted 1 or 2, but that's fine for me. I don't really care. These are going to go back to the to MAC for the MAC recycling program. I think it's 6 empties, gets you 1 free lipstick, eyeshadow, maybe an eyeliner. I'm not quite sure, but I'll put the details of the MAC recycle program for you in the description. And I think that's everything. If you have any more questions about this, please let me know. I will link you to everything that I used. One other thing that I should actually mention, and what I'm going to be doing with this, I just don't have it handy here. I am going to take a sheet of neoprene and just place it into the top as some extra padding. So when I close this up, everything is safe and secure inside. When things are rattling around in palettes, it's more likely that it is going to break. When you depot anything, whether it's eyeshadow, whether it's powders, powder foundations like this, it's not going to be as safe and secure in here as it would be in something like this. This is made and designed to have as a compact in your purse, in your kit. In packaging like this, the product is more likely to stay intact for longer. When you take it out of its own package, again, you compromise, you know, how safe and secure it is in whatever palette you're using. So I'll take that sheet of neoprene, and if you don't know what neoprene is, I ordered some off Amazon in a roll. Neoprene is a synthetic material that is water resistant, so it doesn't harbor bacteria. You can clean it down, wipe it off very easily. So that's why in things like the Makeup Forever pans, in some of my other depotting posts, and I did another video, I used a little sheet of neoprene underneath a magnet so that if I do want to spray it with alcohol or clean it down, it's not going to harbor any of that moisture, and it's very easy to keep tidy. This Makeup Forever palette, and I think the new ones too, they have a sheet of neoprene underneath the magnet. You saw me take out the magnet in the time lapse. I'm gonna add another piece of neoprene just on top so everything is safe and secure. I didn't do this on my last palette, and I'm so stupid for not doing this. My Studio Fix foundations got so smashed around with the last batch. They were absolutely gross. I cleaned them so many times and they just kept cracking, and I used the trick with alcohol to try to save them, but you know, I've had them for long enough and it was just time for them to go. Now I have this new palette. I'm very excited. I use these a lot, so you'll be seeing this on my new station setups. If you have any questions about this, you can put them in the comments, and I guess I will see you on the next video. Bye, everyone.